If you're new to World of Warcraft and are already feeling overwhelmed, you're not alone. A lot of the WoW content is made for players who have been around for years, but don't let that scare you. This video is just my personal experience and perspective meant to help new players enjoy the game without all the unnecessary pressure. So let's talk about what you don't need to worry about as a new World of Warcraft player. One of the biggest things new players worry about is the meta. You'll see tier lists, guides, and posts saying certain classes are best or worst, and it can make you feel like you picked the wrong class. But here's the thing. The meta is only important in specific situations. If you're leveling, exploring, doing story content, or just casually playing with friends, it doesn't matter. The meta is usually made for players who are doing high-end content, like mythic dungeons, or raiding, or even PvP at a competitive level. And on top of that, the meta changes all the time. What's considered best right now might not be best next patch, but your enjoyment of a class usually stays the same. So, if you're new, the best class is the one that feels fun to you. And even if you pick a class that's not considered top tier, you can still enjoy the game and do everything that you want. A good way to think about it is like this. Would you rather play the class and enjoy and feel confident with it, or play a class you don't like just because someone said it's better? If you enjoy the game, you'll keep playing, and that's what matters the most. Now, let's talk about add-ons. I want to clear something up from my last video. When I uploaded that one, I didn't realize Blizzard was going to remove or change a lot of the add-ons that I mentioned when pre-patch dropped. So, if you're trying to find them now and they aren't useful anymore, that's why. But more importantly, I want to say this. Add-ons aren't mandatory to playing World of Warcraft. The default game already gives you everything that you need. Add-ons are like optional tools that you can use if you want extra information or a different UI. But for new players, they can make things a lot more complicated. Add-ons can add more things to keep track of, more settings you'll have to upkeep on, and more distractions displayed on your screen. When you're starting out, your goal should be to learn your class and enjoy the game. So, don't feel pressured to install a bunch of add-ons just because you think that you're supposed to. And if you never use add-ons at all, that is completely fine. Another thing new players worry about way too early is damage numbers. It's really common to have a damage meter, jump into a dungeon, and immediately start watching where you rank compared to everyone else. And before you even know what's happening, you're already comparing yourself. Here's the thing though. You don't need to track DPS while leveling. You don't need to compare yourself to other players. And you definitely don't need to optimize anything yet. Damage meters can be useful later in the game, but early on they don't actually teach you how to play. They just show you numbers without any context. Those other players you're comparing yourself to usually have better gear, higher item levels, more talents unlocked, and have way more experience with their class. So when you compare your numbers to theirs, it's not a fair comparison, and it genuinely won't help you improve. When you're new, your focus should be on learning the basics instead. Focus on what your abilities actually do, how your class feels to play, and how combat flows in real situations. That foundation matters way more. Mistakes are normal, low damage is normal, especially as a new low-level player. Early dungeons aren't about being perfect, they're about learning. Once you understand your class and feel comfortable with your rotation, then numbers can become useful. But until then, don't let the unnecessary stress take the fun out of the game for you. Dungeons are a big part of World of Warcraft, and they can be intimidating when you're new. You might worry about doing enough damage, healing enough, or knowing every mechanic. But here's what I want you to remember. Dungeons are meant for learning. When you're new, your goal is not to be perfect. Your goal is to learn the rhythm of your class, understand your abilities, and get comfortable with playing with others. Everyone starts at the beginning. Even experienced players were once the new person who didn't know what to do. And the truth is, most players are pretty understanding. They've been there. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You can learn from it and just keep going. Also, if you're worried about making mistakes, it can help to ask questions, read your abilities, practice in a low pressure environment, and focus on learning rather than performing. Because once you get the hang of it, the dungeon experience becomes fun instead of just being stressful. If you're new to World of Warcraft, remember, there's no rush and there's no wrong way to start. In future videos, I'll be covering things like how to use the base UI in edit mode, how to get around the world more easily, and some fun things you could do as a solo player. If this video helped you at all, consider liking or subscribing, and feel free to share what confused you the most when you started playing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.